Future, this is fiscal piffle.
I call the honourable member Paul Goldsmith.
Thank you. Well, I was very interested to hear from the previous speaker about his concerns about the equity in the tax system. So he was worried. Terribly worried that Joe Public in the street is having a hard time, and all the tax cuts are going to the wealthy. So I just thought I'd just remind him of a couple of statistics. So at the moment, 6% of the income taxpayers pay 37% of the income tax. So the higher income earners pay a lot, but that doesn't anywhere near explain the actual extent of massive redistribution that we have in the system. So when you take into account working for families at the same time, and I'm trying to focus here on the first one that we're talking about, and take for example, if we're talking about Joe Average on the street, as Mr. Cosgrove referred to, if you were on the minimum wage and effectively earning $30,000 a year, and you happen to have 3 children, just imagine, it'd be interesting to know how much tax you would expect that person to pay under this iniquitous arrangement that the Labour Party think is a terrible one. Do they pay any tax? Somebody on the minimum wage with 3 children? No. They actually get given $10,000 extra, so that their after-tax income is $40,000. So rather than paying any tax under this massively redistributive system, they are actually paid $10,000 extra, so that their after-tax income goes from $30,000 to $40,000. And so I'm responding to the issue that Part 1 is being suggested that it's not doing enough to reform the tax system. Actually, that person, having been given an extra $10,000, would pay maybe $2,000 or $3,000 in GST, but for that, of course, you get free healthcare, free superannuation, free education at the point of delivery, and all the sorts of things that the government provides. I just use one final example before I step up. What happens if there were 2 income earners in the family, and the household income was $50,000? What tax would you expect them to be paying if they had 2 children, 2 income earners, $50,000 in a household income? If they had 2 children, well, they wouldn't be paying any income tax at all. They would actually be being given $1,600 on top of that. So their actual after-tax income is higher than their pre-tax income. So again, hardly the most inequitable system, unless you're suggesting that maybe there is too much redistribution, and I think that's an issue that we need to resolve. If there are 3 children in that household with $50,000 of income, in fact, the tax is not zero. It's actually, they're given an extra $5,000, so their after-tax income goes from $50,000 to $55,000. So I just thought I'd put those figures down on the table so that the people in the Parliament could realise that when we hear all this nonsense about the government letting off the wealthier people from paying tax and making Joe Public struggle, we could... sorry, I think I've probably said enough on this issue, so thank you very much.
The question is... This is cool. I call the honourable member Brendan Horan.
Thank you very much.